kind of going back and forth on this pretty much all morning. We all saw the Lakers get annihilated last night by Oklahoma City. And on one hand, I'm not really that surprised because I looked at what they did to Golden State the night before. And Golden State has lost a bunch of road games by 20-plus points, but they got ham-slammed by Oklahoma City. And then I was thinking that on the second night of a back-to-back, maybe the Lakers got a shot here because they've been playing some pretty good ball. And the Lakers got motorboated last night. So George has been saying to me that if LeBron were on the floor, they'd have a puncher's chance, which doesn't mean, the way I hear it, it doesn't mean they're going to win with LeBron. It just means they got a shot with LeBron. And I look at what happened last night, and I go, you could put LeBron on the floor, and maybe they don't lose by 28, maybe they lose by 14. What do you think about what we've been going back and forth on?
Well, I actually thought the Lakers did have a shot to make it competitive last night because not only the back-to-back, but the Thunder were missing 3 of their best perimeter defenders. And, the leading scorer in the league is coming in. And I'm thinking, well, if there's ever a night where Luka might be able to put up 45, which you wouldn't probably need to win a game like that, maybe that's the night. Instead, he has worst offensive game of the season, and that's a Thunder thing. Like, they are so deep. So here's what I would say. I would say when you've got LeBron, Reeves, and Luka, and they're all healthy and playing well, I think the Lakers can beat anybody. Okay? So the question is, can they do it 4 out of 7? With where the Thunder are right now, probably not. But I don't know whether the Thunder are going to be in that same place in the spring. Basketball is fragile. But they're so resilient. They're so resilient. The thing about the Lakers, if you look at their analytics, and if you want me to break down the actual analytics, you don't trust what I'm about to say, I can. Or you can just take me at my word. The Lakers' analytics say that they're a team that should be in the bottom 10 in the league right now. And what my takeaway from that is, regardless of what anybody says, they need LeBron. Okay, so they get LeBron back. They get LeBron back, and I do expect there to be some, they're going to go through some chemistry things, not because there's a problem. It's just when you get a player like that back. And also, LeBron's never done this before. He's never missed and joined a team in midstream. So I'm not expecting him to walk back if it's next week or the week after or whatever, and all of a sudden everything be great. But they need to get to that ceiling. Like, what I would say about the Lakers is, if you should be excited about them because they're messing around with top 4, and they're performing like a bottom 10 team in the league, and so they get LeBron back, and now that ceiling can get raised. So that's why I think what I'm looking at. But if your standard is the Thunder, you're going to have a tough time.
Yeah. So Brian, what I would say is, it's funny because the other day, it was earlier in the week, right, Cappy, where I said, I don't think point differential is the end-all, be-all necessarily, but if you dig deeper, I said at best the Lakers are a middle-of-the-pack team at the moment, just based on where the numbers had you. So I agree with you wholeheartedly, and which was another reason why I think LeBron is important to this particular Lakers team. I would also add this, if we really wanted to dive in to kind of the minutia of it, and you started to allude to it, if those 3 guys are healthy, you at least mitigate the biggest strength of the Thunder defense, which is ball pressure. I mean, you've been around him as long as anyone. If there's one thing LeBron is not necessarily susceptible to, is ball pressure. And, you have Luke out there with him. You have Reeves out there. You have 3 ball handlers. It just makes the Thunder defense have to work just a little harder than they normally would against most teams, because most teams don't have 3 ball handlers on the floor at the same time. Now, defensively, they'll have some issues. There's no question about that. And I also think DeAndre Ayton is kind of living up to the billing, which the way I laid it out early in the season, even before the season started, was he'll have one great game. Everybody will marvel at and go, oh, my God, look at that. He's the number 1 pick in 2018. He's the guy he's supposed to be. He'll have like 2 average games. He'll have 2 games that the stats look good but are not really impactful, and then he'll have a stinker like last night. So to your point, I don't think the roster is great, but yeah, if LeBron's on this team, they've got what I called a puncher's chance.
Yeah, what you're looking for is can you get top 6, in all honesty, because you don't want to mess around with the play-in. Because the play-in, it's a one-off situation, and things. It's a hard thing to deal with, and then you're sort of behind the 8 ball coming into the playoff series. So this is, to be honest with you, the Lakers are trying for top 6. There's not going to be that much of a difference between 6 and 3. There's just not going to be. That's just the way the Western Conference is. Mm-hmm. So that's why, you kick a game in November. If that happens, you like, man, will that make a difference between 6 and 7 later on? If the Lakers get top 6 and their frontline players are healthy, Let's go. That's what you want. Let Luka and LeBron and Austin, who I believe is absolutely a guy who can change a playoff game. I don't know if he can change a playoff series. He can change a playoff game. You got those three guys. You like your fight. That's where you're at. In all honesty, let's be honest. That's what you're trying to get to. Those three guys in the top 6. The Lakers, I believe, could do that.
Do you think that the Lakers need to, and we will always be having this conversation, especially as we get closer to the trade deadline, do they have to make some big move? And I say big, I don't mean name necessarily. I've seen some of our listeners going in on social media, and they're going, well, why don't they trade Austin Reeves for John Morant? And I'm not saying a star name. I'm saying, George, you've come up with a couple of names already this morning that are more role player types. But do you think that they have enough to go make a big move that they can actually compete for a title? I don't really think so.
Brian, what I said is, and look, 25 other teams are going to want this guy, but this is the type of guy, the archetype, right? That the Lakers could need to try to get, I think, to give themselves an even better chance. Again, this is all, to your point, there's a lot of stuff you can do in the margins when when teams are so closely bunched together. Herb Jones is the archetype, right? Excellent defender, can shoot the ball. The Lakers have a guy in Jared Vanderbilt that can defend, but he can't shoot the ball, okay? And they need an upgrade over someone like that at that position. And someone like that is the type of player that I think would fit best for them because their defense is not very good. It's going to be bottom 10, I think, for the whole season. And I think that elevates them just ever so slightly. If they can get even closer to the middle of the pack, I think their offense is that good that they'll be in contention at least.
Cappy, if you come to me November 13th, 2024 and said, I think the Lakers should trade for someone like Luka Doncic, I'd have been like, all right, I'm just going to leave now. Enjoy your tour. To have a safe trip to New Orleans. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm going to clearly predict what's going to happen in February. But I do agree with George that I think that what the Lakers need to do, they have star-level players. And if you can get another one, please do. Don't hang up the phone. But their challenge is perimeter defense. And they've adjusted a little bit. But the Lakers' offseason was a success because of the quality of player they got for what they spent. They got DeAndre Ayton for $6 million. They got Marcus Smart for less than that. It wasn't that they got guys who are instantaneously in the elite 3 and D. They didn't get an elite center. They got a starting center for $6 million. There's not many of them out there. Mm-hmm. Okay, for that. So that's why their offseason I thought was successful. They do still need to upgrade their defensive talent. That's just the truth. And the only standard is this, that the guy that they would look to trade for is controlled. You're not renting a player. You're not using a draft pick to rent a player because this team is not rent a player. You don't rent a player to finish 4th instead of 6th. And that the player fits really alongside Luka, which a 3-and-D guy fits alongside Luka. That's a no-brainer. So, yes, that's what I think is realistic. And the Lakers have a ton of expiring contracts. They're holding some draft picks and some swaps. We already know that. They are potentially in the ballpark for a player like that. What player will it be? I would be a fool to sit here and be able to tell you that. What I will say is this, where I think the Lakers could, and not just the Lakers but others, I think there's going to be some 30-year-olds across the league who come on the market. And you're going to have to ask yourself the question, do I want some guy in his 30s that may help us in the next year or two, or would I much rather use something that matches with what the age of Luka and Reeves are?
And that's what we've been talking about because George made the point that when you look at Oklahoma City's average age, let's just say it's 26. When you look at the Lakers' average age, George, what was it? Was it slightly less or was it just ever so slightly more?
It's basically where Denver is, basically. Yeah, so, 26 and a third, basically, years old.
So the Lakers, when we say, they're an older team, we don't really mean that they're an older team. We mean LeBron's old.
Right.
And the thing is that if you're going to compete with Oklahoma City, who's young and who's already won a championship, and they're steamrolling people so far, and by the way, they're beating up on teams like the Lakers and the Warriors, then for me, you got to think about the next 3, 4, 5 years about that team and how young they are and how you're going to build your roster to compete with those guys, and LeBron's not long for it. That's my only point about LeBron is that he's the old guy, so your window with LeBron is this year and maybe next year. I'm thinking a little bit more long-term than that.
Yeah, look, if you're Rob Pelinka, how many guys on this roster are going to be on the team in 26, 27?
Very few.
Okay? So if you're going to make a trade where you're going to give up a draft pick, you want a guy who you know is going to be on the team. You got to be thinking 228, 29. And even if the guy needs to be re-signed, at least get him. You got his rights and everything like that. Like, that's what you're going to look for. So guys who fit alongside Luka. You know, in the last couple of years, like when LeBron and AD were agitating for additions, they were looking for guys who helped that year. In 23, LeBron wanted guys to help in 23. AD wanted a center to help him in 24. I don't care about 28. Lakers can't look at it that way. And so, you know, a player like Herb Jones in a vacuum, the guy in his mid to late 20s who's under control, plays defense on the perimeter, can shoot threes. These are the players that the Lakers can be looking for. They're not necessarily – I'm just going to throw this name out there, not because I think they should go after him. I'm not so interested if DeMar DeRozan comes on the market. Will DeMar DeRozan help the Lakers this year? Yeah. Is DeMar DeRozan on the timeline of Austin Reeves and Luka? No. If the Lakers traded for DeMar DeRozan this afternoon, would it be a massive story? Yes. Is that the type of move that Rob should be looking at? I don't think so.
No, I don't think it actually helps them, to be honest with you.
Regardless of the actual player, but just a player like that. You know,
for sure would make headlines. There's no doubt. Yeah, I'm with you, 100%. But give me Herb Jones or that guy, that type of guy, all day, every day. Give me a modern day Shane Battier, whatever. Those kinds of guys are the guys that they need.
Yeah, I guess my only thought is exactly what you were just talking about: getting a roster of guys that are on the same timeline as Luka and Austin Reeves. Because when you look at Oklahoma City and you look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and you look at Chet Holmgren and the list goes on and on of other names, those guys are all on the same timeline.
Okay, let me talk about a concept here. I want to underline concept, okay? Let's say Kyrie Irving becomes available, okay? He makes $36 million. If you tell me another player comes available and he makes $57 million, I don't want to really have that conversation because that's not a realistic thing. Kyrie Irving makes $36 million. Let's say Kyrie Irving becomes available. This is where the Lakers would get into a danger zone.
Okay.
Because Kyrie Irving is a star-level player. Kyrie Irving has demonstrated he can do great with Luka. He's in his 30s. It would potentially be very expensive to get him. Would you go get a guy like Kyrie Irving, knowing that you put Kyrie Irving, and you're obviously not giving up Austin Reeves, but you put Kyrie Irving on this team, it would be, and Dallas might be in a situation where they may look to rebuild around Cooper and they're looking for draft picks and some younger players, That's where I think the Lakers get into a corner and say, wow, what do we do about this? This is a guy coming off an ACL. So if you said to me, like if you went to your average Laker fan and said, would you rather have Herb Jones or Kyrie Irving? The Laker fan would slap you across the face and say, you're taking Kyrie Irving. What are you doing? Get out of my face.
They'd also say, who's Herb Jones? Keep going.
It's not as simple of an answer as you may think, which is this is the zone that the Lakers are in. The Lakers are in this zone where, they're trying to win tonight or tomorrow, whenever they're playing. But they've only got two guys on this roster that I think are going to be here in a year or two. So, you just got to keep that in mind. Luka extended his contract. He's committed to you for long term. You got to follow that term more than you got to follow what you're going to do in 25, 26, especially when you look at Oklahoma City. You got to know the level of team that you're going to have to beat them 4 out of 7 has got to be really high. That's what you got to think about.
That's what I'm trying to say. George, that's all I've been trying to say is that it's the Luka timeline. It's not the LeBron timeline. But what George will combat with is, but as long as you've got LeBron, you've got to try and win a championship as fast as possible. I mean, do I have that right, George?
No.
I don't mean to put
I don't
words
think so,
in your mouth.
George. No, this is not all about Luka.
It's not all about Luka.
No, it is all about Luka.
It is all about Luka, right?
The first and second, third question to yourself are about Luka, not about LeBron.
Say what you said again.
I guess what I'm saying is that I want the Lakers to have a roster of guys that are on Luka's timeline, not on LeBron's timeline.
Well, but LeBron's timeline is not a timeline. My point, Brian, is that this notion of 2027 for the Lakers that's out there, okay, it's admirable. It's understandable, I would even say. But what I would counter with is this. If you feel by any stretch of the imagination that you can contend this season, you should go for it. And I don't mean to your like I mean in the margins, right? Like that's what I mean by going for it. Because this notion that you're going to be this great juggernaut in 27, like that's a pipe dream at the moment. It could happen. Could Giannis end up here? Could Jokic end up here? I mean, I guess maybe, but like you can't bank on that because to your point, I wouldn't have guessed Doncic would be here. However, I do think that Oklahoma City's not going anywhere, and Wemby is on his way in, and that team is going to grow around him. And I don't think like it's going to be some easy path to compete for a championship even beyond in 2027. So my thing is, if you've got a shot now, take it. If you can do it with a smart, shrewd move.
If they have a shot right now. Do they have a shot right now?
Not with this team.
But with some moves, maybe.
Okay.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take George up on this. I'm going to go tomorrow night to see the Pelicans play the Lakers.
I mean,
and
if
George,
the Lakers don't win that one, I mean, then we should really sound the alarm.
George, I'm on official business now. I am going on a scouting trip tomorrow night.
Oh, look at that.
I'm looking for Herb Jones tomorrow night.
Okay.
Herb Jones is an excellent player.
I'm going to go scout him out tomorrow night.
He's
I'll
not,
come back to you.
You know, he's not a playoff series changing player, but he's a playoff game changing player. He could change a playoff game.
Okay. Well, I'm going to scout Herb Jones tomorrow night.
Yeah. Do you know what you're going to be looking at?
Do you know what he looks like?
Well, I do now because I looked him up. I had to look him up.
You want me to send some cut-ups
Whenever
for you?
Yeah,
they do this really cool thing in the New Orleans Arena, Smoothie King Center, when Herb gets a steal.
Yeah.
Because he kind of has like a, well, how would you describe it? He sort of has like a Sleepy Floyd look. George, would you say that?
Yes.
Your listeners know who Sleepy Floyd was?
I mean, the older guys probably do.
Okay.
I don't. Who is he?
So he well, anyway, when he gets a steal, or makes like a big defensive play, they do this cool thing at the Smoothie King Center where they just move his face across the scoreboard, and the look that he's got on his face in that picture, it's just perfect, and that's like Herb Jones, like he just makes plays all along, and he just sort of pops in. You're like, oh, he just made a great play. Oh, he just made a great play. And when you got Luka to carry the load and to score the 40, and you have a guy who can put his face across the scoreboard 6 times in a game, that's the kind of player you need. That's what George is talking about.
All right. Well, like I said, I'm scouting Herb Jones tomorrow. You know why, George? You ready for this?
Yeah.
Because Mike Trudell.
Oh, he got you tickets, I heard,
me
yeah.
a text and said, hey, I got you 2 tickets for tomorrow night.
That kid's a mensch.
Here's what I want you to scout.
Yeah, tell me.
It's a Friday night game with the Lakers in town.
Right.
Okay, I know LeBron's not going to play.
Right.
I want you to tell me how that arena is full and what the fans are. I know there's going to be a lot of Laker fans, but New Orleans is a worrisome economic situation. And if you can't get a sellout crowd on a Friday night, I don't think that the LSU Tigers are playing tomorrow night. Because I've gone to a New Orleans game when LSU's playing. They might as well just stop.
Yeah.
There's no point. So I want to hear that crowd.
Okay.
I want to know if that crowd, I want to see that, I want to know if that building is sold out, and I want to know how many of them are Pelicans fans.
Okay, I want you to be on the lookout because tomorrow night I'm going to be there at the Smoothie King Center. I'm going to shoot video. I'm going to send you a tweet, and I'm going to give
do
you
like a
instant
Cappy
analysis.
Lappy in New
Right.
Orleans?
I'm going to give you instant analysis.
Yes,
Absolutely right.
At tip-off, or maybe the first quarter timeout, just to be fair. Do a look around the upper. I just want to see how the building is.
Okay. Yeah, because you got to figure Friday night the L.A. Lakers.
This is
are
a
in
premium.
Town.
This is probably in their top 3 tickets of the year. I would assume.
I would
Correct.
think so. And Mike Trudell came through in a big way with a couple of ticks.
Well, I want to find out if it's whether he came through or not. That's really what my underlying is. Maybe
here's what can
Right,
happen.
where did he put you?
Hey,
Here's
oh
what-
yeah. Also,
Wendy.
Sedano, I want to see where his tickets are.
Well,
That's my
just it.
underlying
Yeah,
thing.
Wendy,
where'd he
'cause
put you?
Here's the thing. You know how you want to see the upper deck? You might see it because I might
You
be
might be
standing
down.
in it. I might be at the top row. I'll be like, Wendy, I'm looking down. Look at all those Laker fans.
There was a game last week where the get-in price at New Orleans was $2.
Come on.
So
You know how
Cappy,
much
you could get a lot for
a
$2.
lot for $2,
Yeah.
right? Right? All right, Wendy. Well, it's great to be with you, man. Really is. I know you got to
Thanks,
hustle out of
Wendy.
here, but we appreciate your
I just want
commentary.
you to know,
Yeah.
I love LAX.
You love
I
LAX,
rely
do you?
on it dozens of times a year, and it's always coming through.
Well, I'm heading there right now, and then I'm going to meet George in the Delta Lounge. Of course, it's not the big time, Delta Lounge.
Yeah.
It's a small time, but I'm heading out
No,
right
the
now.
small time one there is nice. Though.
No, it's
a
beautiful.
nice Delta
No,
Lounge.
the new one is beautiful, but it's
Yeah.
not the. It's not the.
By the way,
Right,
Wendy,
it's not the lounge.
Wendy, on Friday nights, I'm going to start tweeting at you which Columbo I'm watching, too. That's going to
I
be my
love
new
it.
thing. Yeah.
I don't look at my mentions, so I'll never see it.
All right, that's okay.
But
though.
Columbo would be in the big Delta Lounge.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, for sure. He'd be Delta 1.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Cappy. Have a safe flight.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.
We're going to take a quick 2-minute timeout, and when we come back, we'll do a little radio Tinder with producer Lindsay Baseball. Plus, I've got a special dealer's choice as I sit in for Cappy on the dealer's choice. It's all ahead. A Torta Thursday. Smile, mongrels.